yeah, let me introduce myself. My name is Ignacio Roda. I'm one of the co-founders of Mobincube, and today I will be showing you some useful tips for creating GPS-based applications with Mobincube. Okay, and here with me you have my colleague Daniel Ruiz. He's right now he's in Spain in our office there. He will be answering your questions if you in case you can use the chat for making questions. He will be answering your questions. I'm now based in States in San Francisco, so there might be some delays from people in Europe maybe, or I hope it works. Normally it works good with this tool that we are using, animated.com. So if someone has trouble, just let us know. I see there's people from many parts of the world, Europe, America, so that's great. Okay, so yeah, so as I was telling you, we are going to learn how to create GPS-based applications with Mobincube. Okay, this is really useful. Well, no matter if you are creating apps for businesses, or if in case you are like creating apps for yourself in order to monetize. GPS is a really useful tool. Okay, so for example, if you're doing business apps, I guess you always want to add some location information for the store or for the business you are creating your app. Okay, so every business wants to be in the map. So with GPS apps, you can do it. And in case you are doing apps for making money, you are maybe thinking on maybe creating like city tour guides or restaurant guides and things like that. So GPS functionalities in Mobincube, they are really useful for that as well. Okay, so if you are here, I guess you all are users of Mobincube because, well, this invitation to this webinar was only sent to our users. So I'm not going to explain how to create an account in Mobincube because I guess you already have an account. Okay. So, and also this is not a webinar for newbies, I mean for new users. Remember that every month we offer also a free webinar for new users where we explain the basics of Mobincube. So in this webinar today, I will assume that you already have some knowledge about using Mobincube. So there will be some parts that I will make them a bit faster. Okay, so I'm not going to explain everything. Well, in case you don't have any knowledge about Mobincube, you can even learn from this. I mean, if you follow my steps, then you will learn how to use it. Okay, so yeah, let's just start. So, well, I have this session open. Let me check. This is in Spanish. Let me change it to English. I guess you all see my screen now. Okay, so I'm going to start a new application. It's going to be called like GPS demo 5. I'm going to start it as a blank app. Okay, remember we have these templates, but soon you will be like forgetting our old templates because maybe next week or the week after we are going to launch a new template system based on the white wizard, and I'm really sure you will like it. But for now we are going to use the blank app. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to develop an app with Mobincube that in the first version, it's going to be like the app for one business. I'm going to use a cafe. Okay, so I will show you how to place that store or that cafe in an app and what functionalities you can use with Mobincube in order to place that store in an app. Okay, then we are going to go further and imagine that this business has like different cafes around the world or around the city. So we will also teach you how to create databases with a lot of places and place them on a map and things like that. Okay. So yeah, let me start. I'm going to skip this these steps for entering information about the app and things like that. I'm going to go to edit. Well, let me close my some windows so that they come up. Okay, so I'm going to start this app creating like a nice menu so that from that menu I will be able to go to different screens on my app showing different functionalities. So for my first menu, well, let me first, I'm going to upload all the pictures I'm going to use later. So I'm opening the image manager and I have some pictures here. So I'm going to upload them. This one. So I'm going to just upload them so that I will use them later. Okay, here I have it. One more moment here. Okay, so now I'm going to start with a detail screen for my menu. This is going to be quite fast because this is not really important how to create a detail screen. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to do is creating a header. I mean a horizontal bar. And I'm going to use just to make a bit nicer my app. I'm going to add a picture on the header. And I'm going to use this one. Okay. And then I'm going back to my main screen, the main menu, and I'm going to set the background image. Then I'm going to use this one. Okay. There's some differences in this previewer here on the left and in the mobile phone. You'll see. I mean, you'll see the pictures matching correctly. Okay, maybe let me find the HTML simulator. No, it doesn't work either. So you'll see in the mobile phone how it works. Okay, but now I'm going to add like 4 buttons with my options. Let me add some separators first. So that I can add some space from the header to the buttons. And now I'm going to add a table. 2 columns is okay for me. I'm going to use 90% with white background but a bit transparent. Okay. And now I'm going to add some for each cell, first some separators as well. Maybe 2. And now on picture. And here I'm going to use this icon, for example. Okay. Then I'm going to add another one in the right cell. I'm doing this fast because I assume that you already know how to do this. So this is not the target of the webinar. Okay, so I will add something like this later. And that and now. Okay, so for the first button, I'm going to use an action called go to screen, and I'm going to, well, first I'm going to show you how to call Google Maps from your app, from any point of your app. You can open Google Maps with a GPS position. Okay, in case you want to trace a route from one point to another, you can just use one action called root. It's a brand new action. Well, not brand new. We released this new action like 1 month ago or maybe two. So people that didn't really come to Mobincube like in the last 2 months, maybe they don't know about this new action. Okay, so instead of, for the first button, instead of using go to screen, I'm going to use this action called root. And then I only need to enter the GPS location that I want to open in Google Maps. Okay, so, well, you can use a tool like GPS coordinates.net. And you can search for an address and you get the GPS position. So just copy, place like latitude and longitude. Okay, you press enter, and that's it. Okay. Now whenever a user clicks on this button, Google Maps application will be open. Well, in case it's an iPhone, then the app will open the Apple Maps, or in case it is a Windows phone, it will open the Bing Maps. Okay, but anyway, it's the online maps app, not native from the phone. Okay, so this is a first approach, and I can maybe I can publish the app so that you can check. I'm going to go to publish. Let me remove advertisement so that it will be much nicer. So, okay, now I'm publishing my app. Well, normally, since I'm only developing my app, normally if I like to see the preview in my phone, I don't go to publish. I mean, I go to preview. But in this case, since preview only allows me one download per URL, I'm going to publish my app so that in case you have an Android device with you, you can also download this app or this demo in your devices. Okay. So this will take like 2 minutes or 3 minutes to get generated. So in the meantime, we are going to keep editing our app. Okay, and we will come later here, and I will download the app so that you can see the results. Okay, so the first approach for using GPS was that one, only opening the Google Maps application. Okay, now the second step is going to be like having a Google Maps but embedded in our app. I mean, not outside the app, but inside the app. Okay, so for that, we are going to use this second button, and here we are going to use the action called go to screen, and we are going to create a new screen. It will be called like single map, for example, or single DOI map. Okay, now you see that I have a new screen here. I'm going to edit this screen. So now for this screen, I'm going to use this type of screen, the one called map. Okay, this is an online map screen. Okay. First thing, I'm going to add a header, add a different one. I have a smaller one so that it doesn't take a lot of space on the screen. Okay. Then I'm going to edit this bar. Just add a picture. Well, this is not necessary. This is only for making the app look nicer. Okay. Okay, so for creating this type of screens, all we have to do is like adding points of interest, okay, or adding new places. Because when you create the first map screen, and there's no places in the database. Okay, so first thing we have to do is adding places. So here we have this plus icon. I just click here. This is like creating a list screen, an option list screen. Okay, so I can add so many places as I want. Okay, so just clicking on the plus button. Okay, and I can even remove it. If I select one, I can remove it using the garbage icon. Okay, so well, I can use a name for every place. This is only for reference or for myself. I can use, for example, Mobincube, for example, and I can have this Mobincube market street, for example, or I could even have like Cafe in Palo Alto. Okay, so well, these are only names for me. So if in case I want to add a name, that users will be able to see that name like in a white dialog box. I only need to, well, first thing I have to do when adding a place and after entering this ID is entering the location. Okay, so I just click in this icon here, and I need to enter something to look for in Google Maps. Okay, for example, University Avenue in Palo Alto. Okay, I can use this location. And that's it. And now you see that there are two new icons here. Okay, the first one is in case I need to have like a picture also in this white dialog. You can click here, and if I didn't upload any photo for the cafes, I just go to Google using this button. I can enter here a search text. I can use this one for example. Drag and drop here. Well, I'm going to add like several ones. I will use them later. For example, this one. Okay. For this one, I'm going to use this picture, and I can also add a text here. Even Cafe Palo Alto. Okay. I could only like use a picture or only a text. I mean, it's up to you. Okay. And then I see this ratchet icon. This is for, well, here. No, let me explain this later. Let's first add locations for the other places. Oh. Example and here. Okay, I have my three spots. Okay, one thing you need to know is you can have like different screens in your app from the map type. Okay, but all the screens that you create for maps will share the same places. I mean, all the places that you add here will be added to the place database in your app. Okay, so in case you create different screens for maps, you can use the same places, but in case you want to deactivate some of them in this screen, you just use this switch here. For example, I'm going to deactivate the one in Palo Alto and Market Street, so I'm going to keep the one in Palo Street. Okay, so I'm going to also add text. You know, or the address, for example, and a picture for it. This. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to send the right. First thing, I have two questions here. First, do I want this place to be the center in the map? Okay, imagine that you have several places in your map. Okay, but you just want one of them to be the center. I mean, when you open the screen, you want one specific place to be at the center of your screen. Okay, you can, for this place, the one at top, you can use always, you can let this place always to be the center of the map. Yes, you can select here, yes, by default, or you can make it be the center of the map only in case the previous screen was one of your selections. Okay, for example, if you come from a screen menu, for example, let this place be the center of the map. Okay, well, you can just try an error for these features. Now I'm going to use the center by default. And then you can also set an action for your place. I mean, in case you don't have any picture or label for the place, and you set an action, this action will be executed whenever someone clicks on this red nail here on the map. Okay. So, and in case you add a picture or a text, then in case somebody presses on the place, the dialog will pop up. Okay, and if they press again on the dialog, then the action will be executed. Okay. Now I'm not going to use any action. Well, yes, I'm going to use an action. For example, for this point, I'm going to use the action root and also the same GPS location. Okay, so that you can see other places where the action can be executed. Okay. Okay, so step 2 is already done. I'm going to, I guess the app is already published. Yeah, right. So in case you have an Android device with you, you can just scan this QR code and we will see the previous version of the app. Okay. So I'm going to do it with my phone, and I hope my webcam works, and I will show you in case you don't have an Android device with you. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to publish a new version because the first one didn't have this new functionality, the second one. Okay, so let me turn my webcam on. And I think I need to stop sharing my screen. Okay. I guess you can see my phone. So this is the app that I have. So it's always difficult to under the phone. Yeah. Okay, so this is my app. You see that now the background fits the header. So there was like a bug in the Mobincube interface, but in the app it looks perfect because I just cut my picture. Okay, so well, this is only for my first functionality. Remember, I added the icon, but there's no functionality in the second icon yet. This version is being generated right now. So if I press in the first icon, you see that the Google Maps app is open, and I see the place here, and I can select like the routing options. I can click on the car icon, then I see the route here. Okay. So I can also, well, I can also open the GPS navigator, or I think I can even change, depending on the version, you can change, you are supposed to change and set, like you want to walk. I'm not sure how it works right now. Yeah, anyway, in some devices, you can select if you want to use public transportation, things like that. Okay, let me check if the second version is, no, it's still being developed. So I guess it would only take like 1 minute. So in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to add 2 more icons. I'm going to, can you see my screen now? Yes. So I'm going to keep editing my app to add another extra functionality. Okay, now I'm going to use a really cool functionality. Well, it's not really a functionality of Mobincube, but I'm going to show you one tip in order to make your app, your business app look really cool. First thing, I'm going to add more separators here. Another one. Okay, and now I'm going to add a new icon. This one here, and more separators. This is only for making the app nicer. Okay. So for this icon, I'm going to create a new screen. It's going to be called Street View. Okay. Well, so in this, I'm going to show Street View inside my app. Okay. I have atmosphere. For example, imagine that I'm going to use Street View here. Here, there's a nice cafe, I think. Here. Well, they don't pay me for showing this cafe here, but I really love the place. So here I have this address, URL address for this Street View map. So I'm going to just go back to Mobincube, and for my Street View screen, I'm going to use this web screen and just click to select that I want an embedded website in my app. So I'm going to enter the Street View URL here. And well, I'm going to add the header just to make it nicer. Okay. Well, I forgot. I wanted to do in my previous screen. I'm going to generate the app again, but I forgot to tell you one thing. Let me go back to the map screen. Did you see that the center of the map went to another place? This is because when you are using an app screen, you can set the position and the zoom level from here. And once you have reached the zoom level that you want, you have to press in this icon here with the target. So this will save your map's position and your map zoom level, okay? And I also wanted to give you some example of one thing that normally it really fits in your app and it really looks nicer. In case you are showing only one place, you can add like an address bar. Oh, this is only for making the app look nicer. I'm going to edit this one. I'm going to just add a table with one cell, and I'm going to make it look like black, but with some transparency. And yeah, I'm just going to add a text. For example, name of the street. Street. white, and then I'm going to add another text. So we'll save it, for example. This one is going to be like small font and almost white. And let me again add a separator and another one. Okay. Let me also change the background of this screen. In this time, I'm going to do the whole. Okay. And you can also add. I didn't explain about there's another functionality in Mobincube in order to let the user place itself. Okay. Well, I mean, it is the bar. I'm going to add another bar. I'm going to call it like options. I'm going to add it at the top. I'm going to edit this bar. I'm going to add a table. For example, 85% and 50%. I want this bar to be transparent. Or well, no, maybe I'm going to make it solid. So white, but transparent. And then I'm going to add a button here with this target. For this picture, I'm going to use the action called my location here. Okay? So whenever a user clicks on this icon, the map will center in the location of the device that he's using. It will take the GPS position. Okay? So that's it. Okay, so I should, well, maybe this is not the best place to place this button. I mean, the design in your app is up to you. So maybe you can like change the header and integrate this button in the header, things like that. That would be nicer. Okay, but well, I'm not really taking care of the design of the look and feel of this app. So I'm going to publish my app again. Publish new version. I'm not going to download the previous version because I just added this button. So, well, it will take again 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to keep doing the next functionality, okay? I'm going back to edit. And here I am. So, well, everything I explained to you until now is really useful in case you want to add like one place to your app, or you can use, imagine that you are doing like an app for showing 3 stores that a company has in one city. So then that's okay. I mean, it's not too much work if you use like the map screens or the things I just talked to you. Okay. But imagine that you want to create an app with 200 spots in the app. So you want to show, for example, one screen imagine like a big company that has like 200 different shops. Okay, if you want to enter one screen with detailed information for every store, for example, opening hours, services, pictures, address, things like that, And if you have 200 places, then you will need to create 200 different screens with the details, and then you will need to have to create like 200 different screens for showing the map and things like that. So you're gonna get really crazy. Okay, so one of the biggest or greatest features of Mobincube is the database functionality. Okay, with Mobincube you can, in case you have like these 200, or even if you have like 5,000 stores, you can add all the information in a database that we provide all the technology. You can create a database with a lot of records, and then you can just design like templates that you want to use to get database information and show it on the screen of your device. Okay, so it's really useful. For example, you only need to design your app. You only need to design, for example, one screen for showing all the information, and the layout that you design, it will be like a template for showing all the different reports in your database. Okay, so, and then in case you want to place all the records in a map, you only need to design one time this map. So that's what we are going to do right now. Okay. Well, let me check if the app was published already. Yeah, it was. So here you can download. It's the same address as before since I published it. So I'm going to download the new version. Before doing all this database functionality, let us go back and see how the app is working. Okay. So yeah, let me, in case you don't have an Android device, I'm going to share my webcam again. Okay, I hope it works. Now you see I have three icons. It's not that bad the design, right? I mean, I'm not a designer, but I did this picture and this header and everything, and it looks like cool, right? It's always hard to see. Okay, here. Okay, I got it. So, well, the second functionality that we didn't show in the app is this one. So you see, now you have this, well, the map is been loading. I can zoom in. Okay, and I have the address here. It looks really cool. And I have then these buttons, for example. I'm going to press the icon, the target icon. So you see now this blue spot on the screen. This is where I'm currently located. Well, this is a temporary house that I'm renting. So next week I won't live here anymore. So if you want to come and kick me, I won't be here. Okay. So yeah, and then I can press. You see, I press the red icon. Then I see the picture and I see the name. Okay. So remember that I added an action now in the dialog. If I press the dialog, then the Google Maps application is open, and now I can use the route. I mean, it's really close to here, so I don't really need a card. Okay, so that's how the map screens work. Okay, now I'm going to show you the great functionality, the Street View. Remember that we just took the URL from Street View, so, and I use a web screen. Okay, so I'm going to press it, and here it is. Here's Google Map, Street View, but I'm still inside my app. You see the header here, which means that it's native. It's inside my app, and it really works quite good. So in case you are doing like a professional app, you should use this feature. Your customers will love it. Okay. And there are some places now that you can even enter the store. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to Mobincube. Okay, you see my screen now, I guess. Okay, let's go back to edit. Okay, so, well, first thing I'm going to add my icon for the main menu. I'm going to add more separators. I really like separators. You see? I mean, I like every icons really close together. Well, one thing in Mobincube is that in case you want to add more space, it's really a pain in the ass because you need to add some separators. Well, there's a trick. You can, for example, have this empty picture, for example, like 200 pixels, make it transparent, save it as a PNG file. Wait, let me go here. Yes, and save it as PNG transparent. Which is only a trick. It doesn't have anything to do with the things we are doing. For example, in case you want to add more space, and use, for example, this picture here. And add it here. It's transparent, so you won't see anything on the screen, for example, and you can just change the size of this picture, so you will make a bigger space. Okay, you see the trick? Okay, this trick is for free. I'm not going to charge you for this, but it's really useful because in case you don't do something like that, you need to add, for example, like 4 separators, because here it looks like they are big, but after if you go to the device, you see that 4 separators is not really a big space. Okay, so let's click on that. So my fourth icon, I'm going to use this one, the list, because I want to show a list for all the urban cafes in the city. Okay, so here, and I'm going to add a new screen called store listing. Okay, I think, okay, so my main menu is over. I mean, I finished it. So now I'm going to this last functionality I want to show. So for this, I want to use the data view functionality. I mean, the data view screen. Okay, this is for using databases inside your app. So, well, in this webinar, I'm not going to explain everything about databases. We did a past webinar explaining all the things you need to know to create databases. Okay, so you just go to our YouTube channel, and there you can find this webinar. Okay, it's really useful because this functionality, the database functionality, is really powerful compared with other app builders. Okay, so you should really watch that webinar. Well, in this example, I'm going only to use like an offline database. I mean, you can use online databases in case you need to update real-time information from your stores. But in this case, in order to make it quicker, I'm going to use only like a small offline database. I'm going to call it stores, for example. I'm going to add 4 fields. First one is name, data type is text. Second one will be the address, for example, text as well. Then the photo, it's going to be a picture. And the last one is going to be called GPS, for example. And this is going to be a location field. Okay, this will store GPS coordinates. Okay, so I'm going to say, I'm going to enter some items in the database. For example, first one will be called Mobincube San Francisco, for example, and it will be like in Oak Street, San Francisco. A picture sample division and a GPS location. I can just enter my address here. Then I'm going to enter Urban Cafe in Paris, or no, let's go to a great city called Valencia. So it's going to be like 100 or 26 Jacinto Benavente, Valencia, Spain. I think there's a really nice company in that address. And I'm going to add a picture. This one. And okay, a location. Here. And I can use another one, Urban Cafe, like in Stuttgart. I love that. And for example, in Königstrasse 1, Stuttgart. Yeah, of course. I see that someone is asking about CSV file. You can have all the information in an Excel file and then import it to Mobincube. That's all explained in the webinar I just told you. And finally, I'm going to select this. Okay, I'm going to only use three items. Okay, I don't want to wait for time. Okay, so here's my database. Imagine that I have 200. And well, one thing you can do relating to GPS-based applications is ordering your records or your items in your database according to the distance from the user to that point. So you just select the field to order by GPS field, and then you can only select nearest. Okay, so in case you use a list, it will show the items from your database from less distance to more distance. Okay, so as an example, well, let me first add my header. This one, and also let me have a background image. This one. So first, I'm going to add a list view showing all my stores. And I want to use a detail view to show details from the selected item. Then I'm going to add a map view. And then I'm going to add an augmented reality view. Okay, this one is only in beta. it doesn't really work good on Android devices. It really works on iPhone and Windows Phone. We are having some issues in the Android version. So you can use it, but remember that it won't work really good on all Android devices, okay? And we are going to use it. Okay, so the first thing, the list type. We are going to create a list with all our cafes, okay? Oh, something funny happened. I'm going just to refresh and go back. Okay. Now, okay, so first thing, I'm going to add a table. I'm going to make it like with a gradient background, vertical, and with some transparency so that I can see the background picture. Yeah. I'm going to add picture here and the text. Okay, so when using a database view or editing a database view, you see these elements here. These are in case you want to add like an image to all the rows in your list. But in case you want to add a picture related to an item in the database, you can just drag these magenta icons. These are linked to the elements in your database. Okay. So I'm going to add the photo. I think our marketing manager is crying on the background, so you see super crying. Yeah, that's it. I guess you hear. And now I'm going to add the name of the store. Okay, for example, in small font. And that's it. And maybe in white font. No, that's okay. I'm going to center vertically. Okay, so here I have my button. Okay. So, well, I want that whenever a user presses on a row, I want it to go to the detail view. So I select go to view. I put this action in the whole table. Okay. And I want the app go to the or switch to the detail view. Okay. You see that I only designed one row, but here you can see like several ones. Okay. This is because I'm editing a list. Okay. So when you create a list view, you design only the template for one record of your database, and it will replicate this design one below the other, and each element or each design will be filled with the information of a different record in your database. Okay, so now I added the go to view action, and it will go to the detail view. Okay, so if I press on a record, the record I press will be like the selected item in the database. So when it opens the detail view, it will show the detail view related to the selected item. Okay, you'll see that in the phone. I'm going to edit the detail view. So I'm just going to add some space. Let me use the previous space, the transparent picture. Okay, now I'm going to add the name of the cafe, medium size, center, or no, wait, I wanted to something different. Let me add a table first. I'm going to use this cells layout. One with 5%, another with 90%, and one with 5%. And the whole table will be like 90% in the center, and I'm going to use a white background as a only to make the app look nicer, okay? And now I'm going to add an extra separator here. Now I'm going to add the name of the cafe. Yeah, medium size, center, black. Now I'm going to enter the address in small size, center, and maybe not as black, maybe gray. Okay, and another separator, online, and now I'm going to add the photo. Okay, 100%. I want it to be big. Now finally another separator. Okay, and now I have two views designed in my app. The first one is the menu, the list of the record in the database. So whenever a user presses on one record, it goes to this screen only showing one record. So the whole information about this cafe. But now I want to add an action here in the address text, so that whenever a user presses on the address, I want to open a map and show this report in a map. Okay, so I want to add the action go to view, and I'm going to use the map one view as a parameter. Okay, and that's it. Now I'm going to edit the map view. So for the map view, I'm also able to play with the look and feel. So the things that I can design are all the things I want to include in the white dialog that is open every time somebody clicks on the red spot. Okay, remember before when we were designing map screens, we were only able to add a picture and a text. Okay, but if you use databases, even if you are using just one place, you can use a database in case you want to use these features. Okay, so if you want to create rich designs for your map dialogues, you can use only create a design here. For example, well, first you have to select the name of the field that contains a GPS location. I only have one here, therefore I cannot select a different one. So I'm going to add a table, for example, with one cell here and another one here. The first one I want to show the photo on the left, and now I want to show the name, for example, in small size and 96%. Then I want to show the address in a different size, so now 6%, tiny size. Then I'm going to add some extra icons here, so I'm going to add an extra table inside the other table. And I'm going to have 3 cells here, 30%, 30%, and 30%. Okay. And well, I could use another like 10%. And put it in the left side so that it gets aligned in the right margin. Okay. And now I'm going to add a picture. Look, this is a picture, a fixed picture, not a field on the database. Okay, I'm going to add an icon here, for example, this one. So I want that whenever a user clicks on this icon, I want to open, I want to use the root, I want to open the Google Maps application and trace a route inside the map. Okay, so I'm going to use root. But now remember, we used this action before and we enter here the GPS coordinate. Now I'm not going to use like always the same GPS location. Okay, so I have the location for this place in the database in one field of the database called GPS. So if you enter here, just the name of the field, and between these symbols are called parentheses, right? In English. I'm sorry because my English is not that good, but I think they are called parentheses. So if you use the name of your field among parentheses, then when user presses this icon, then Google Maps will be open and they will take the user to the location of this item in the database. Okay? It's really cool. Now I'm going to add a different icon. For example, I'm going to try the Street View functionality. I'm not sure if this will work. Let me try. This icon, try to use only this. Well, I took the whole Street View URL and I only modified this where the GPS location was, and I entered GPS among parentheses. I'm going to try if this works. So I'm going to use open URL action, and I will copy this. I'm going to check if it takes the right GPS location. This is only a thing I'm trying right now. Okay? And finally, we are adding the third icon. And I can use maybe this one. It's an example. So, and for this one, I want to add the action go to view, and I want to open the AR view, and the augmented reality view. Okay, so here's my view. I finished the third view, and finally I'm going to go for the fourth view, the augmented reality view. Okay, this will open the camera on your phone and place your items of the database, depending on where are you aiming your camera. Okay, so we don't really recommend. I mean, you can also design the template for the dialog, targeting every item in your database, and we really recommend only to use small the amount of that data here. So maybe only the name, okay, and with a tiny scheme, because if you use like big dialog, you have a lot of different places in the database, they will overlap. Okay, so it won't be really nice. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm finished. So I'm going to try to publish my app. And well, now I'm publishing our app. It will take like 3 minutes, and I will show you how it works in my phone. Well, except for the augmented reality, I'm not sure if, well, I think in my phone doesn't work really good. Then I have a good phone. In some LG phones, this functionality works, I think. So no, the QR code doesn't change, neither the URL. I mean, because I'm just publishing the app. In case you were reviewing your app, yes, the URL is always different. But I decided to publish the app on every change so that you all can download using the same URL. So yeah, let's wait a minute or two. I think well, in the meantime, there's one thing I didn't explain. Well, I can explain it right now because we always have this question when using databases with places. We always have this question that people want to know if they can, like, when you are using like a list view, they ask us if they can or show the distance from the user to that point, okay, or to that place. So, well, this is not already implemented in Mobincube. I mean, there's no direct way to add the distance for each point in your list, but there are some ways you can handle to show that information. Okay, you can do this with the online text element. For example, let me edit this button. I can add here an online text, and you can, in case you have a server where you can play some scripts, or for example a PHP script, then you can, like, for example, imagine that you place your script in a server called myserver.com/scripts, and then get distance.php. This is not real, okay? Imagine that you have this script. We can give you my colleague Daniel is here. He can give you the script. It's a really easy script. So, for example, you can use, for example, a source parameter, and in case you use the word location among this symbol, I'm not sure how it's called, and maybe like brackets in English. You see, let me zoom in. Disappear. Oh. Wait. Again, sample. My server.com get distance PHP source and this symbol. I don't know the name of this symbol. And if you use the word location, well, this means that your app will automatically change this location text and will put the real GPS location of the user. Okay, and you can use, for example, in case you are using a parameter called destination, and you have this field in the database called GPS, you can use among parentheses. So before the mobile phone tries to access this URL, these parameters will be modified. So here the phone will place the GPS location of the device, and here we'll put the GPS location stored in the database for this item. Okay, so in case you have this script here and it calculates the distance from this first point to the second point, then you'll get a text, and then the text will be shown in your app. Okay, so this is a way to do it. I guess I'm not reading the chat right now. I guess Daniel is sending the script, or well, an script, a PHP script, in case you don't know. It's only a plain text with some programming. It's not really complicated. We will publish it maybe in our blog or somewhere, or in case you need a script, just ask us and you can just host this script in your server. Okay? Well, now I guess it's published. Let me go back to publish. Yeah, it's here. So, well, in case you have your Android device with you, you can just download again. I'm going to, for those who don't have an Android device, I'm going to activate my webcam. I guess you can see it. And I'm going to install. Okay, open. This is my app with 4 icons, a really nice menu. And I'm going to go to the database. So here now you can see the list view. Okay, it shows 3 rows since I have 3 elements in the database. Okay, you see the design that I took. One picture on the left and both buttons with vertical gradient, semi-transparent. Okay, so now I can, for example, use this one. Well, there are ordered by distance. Remember, Remember, I'm now in San Francisco, so I first get the San Francisco one, and I guess Valencia is closer to San Francisco than Stuttgart, so that's my order. So now if you are, for example, I see there are some people from Germany here, Gary, and there's some people from Norway. So I guess you should see first the one in Stuttgart, and I guess people from Spain or Italy, maybe they receive first the one in Valencia. Okay, so if I press on one, let me use the first one. Now I just went to the detailed view. Okay, remember the second view that shows the selected icon, the name, then the address, and then the picture. Okay, it's only for the selected icon. I think I created a really nice app. So now I'm going to press on the address. So yeah, I went to the third view. Remember, I created this table with the picture on the left, then the name, then the address, and 3 icons. You see them? So okay, I'm going to try 3 icons. First, I'm going to try. Well, I can move here. I could even have like my location in order to place my device on the map. Okay, so first I'm going to use this route. I press on it, and well, I'll open this in the Google Maps application. Okay, so now I'm not in the app anymore. And then the app is in the background. So I can get right to the place. Okay. Okay, so in case I take the one in Stuttgart, I guess it will be difficult to reach it by car. But I can see the complete route from my point. So I guess I have to swim or take a ship. You can go in public transportation. Yeah, okay. Let me go back to the map. Okay, the second one is the street view. This one, I'm not sure if this will work. Okay. I'm hiding with my finger. I don't have a pointer. So the street view was supposed to open. Oh, no, I guess it didn't work. I need some parameters in the URL. No, I should review my URL and maybe add more parameters, or maybe if I open with Chrome. No, doesn't work either. No, I guess you need to add more parameters. because remember I only took this parameter here and I removed everything. So I guess there are some other parameters here that tell Google to use the Street View. Okay, you just should figure out. I closed the app, I'm sorry. Let me open again the app. Let me find this one here. Okay, and finally, augmented reality. Okay, this one really doesn't work in some devices, like this one. This is a S5 Samsung Galaxy. So as I told you, the augmented reality is something we are working on. So I guess it would, well, I think the technical department of Mobincube told me that they were fixing it. So it's supposed to work soon. Okay. Yeah. Well, now the second time, it seems like it changes to landscape view, and I'm not sure if it will show. Let me try. I think I'm going to try to target my device. Yeah, here. Let me. You see that this is the augmented reality. You see the name of the Euron Cafe, and I'm pointing to where this address is. So if I move my phone, the point moves. Okay, in Android version it's a bit unstable, so it will be fixed soon. Okay, it really works in iPhone version. So if you are going to create an iPhone-based version of your app or a Windows phone, you should use this functionality. Okay, so let me turn off my camera and share my screen. So, well, I think that's it. I mean, we created a GPS-based application that looked really nice and have different options for placing your stores in the map. So, well, that's everything we wanted to explain in this webinar today. So, well, I hope you enjoyed and you learned a lot of things today. And yeah, I hope you liked it. And I just wanted to thank you for being here and for lasting all the webinar. I guess it was a bit boring, but thank you for learning. And remember that this webinar has been recorded. So if there was not any problem with the recording, then we will publish it in our YouTube channel next week. And well, remember that we are going to keep doing webinars every month, 2 webinars per month. One monthly webinar is always for new users. It's the basics of Mobincube. And then we always give, we always offer like a specific webinar like the one today. I mean, for more advanced users. I mean, we've done in the past some webinars, for example, for this database functionality. We've done webinars for teaching you how to monetize your apps and how to increase your revenue. Well, I mean, all of them or almost all of them are in our YouTube channel. Okay. So again, thank you for coming. Well, in case you have some questions, I can stay here for a while and you can just keep asking questions. Okay. No way for the iPhone similar to Android. Yes, Gary, there's one way you can demo your app in an iPhone device. If you go to preview, instead of publishing your app, here you have the information. I mean, here in the preview in iOS, you just can find the Mobincube app in the Apple Store. Okay, so you just download this app and then enter your login information from Mobincube. Then you will get a list with all your apps. So you just click on one and then the demo will be generated. Okay, so you will be able to watch your app in your iOS device. Okay. More questions? How can I present it to your customer? Oh, well, I think if you have an Apple developer account, I think you can set new devices and link them to your account. And maybe you can ask, I'm not really sure how it works. I think Daniel will know something about this. But I think you can add your customer's device to your account, and there's some way to install remotely in that device. Hmm. Yeah, well, Apple is always causing problems with these kind of things. Yes, you can. I mean, our demo was done with an offline EV, but of course you can create an online database. I mean, you need to, you have two options. I mean, you can create a database in Mobincube and then use our cloud system in order to keep your database online, using our cloud tool in order to edit all the information in your database. And then if you have a server, you can also host your database in your server, but it has to be SQLite version. Okay, so first you have to design the structure in Mobincube. I mean, you have to enter the fields for your database. Then you can export your database. So you will get this SQL file, and you can just put that file in your server. And then you have to develop some scripts in your server in order to feed that database. Okay. If I import from a CVS file, well, the format, well, Eleonora is asking a question, but only in private to presenters. I guess it was a mistake. I mean, this question could be general, how to use location fields in your CSV file in case you are importing it. So, well, you just need to enter latitude and, yeah, latitude, comma, longitude. Any more questions? Well, I think I'm a really good teacher because there are not a lot of questions, right? Thank you, Gary. Thank you. Thank you, Eleonora. Yeah, I guess it's too late there, right? Okay, so I guess you don't have more questions, so I'm going to stop recording now. So the recording stopped. Now you can say bad things about me. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you again for being here, and I hope you join us in our next webinar, or well, the next one will be for basics, but maybe in the one before that, maybe in 1 month, we will be offering more webinars. Okay, so yeah, so see you. Bye.